What's going on, everybody? I'm DJ McCree of Track Camp ENT, and today we're just gonna have a quick discussion video because a lot of people have been having or asking me in my comment section about mixing and mastering, even beyond the fact of my videos. And I quite understand it because mixing and mastering are two difficult things to understand. It's not many helpful videos out, especially if you're using like FL Studio 12. There's certain concepts that people kind of lean on towards the other person because they're a matter of opinion, but there are rules that engineers live by, and there are certain things that you can do that I have learned because I work with so many engineers, ask so many questions, and annoyed the hell out of them, so I can actually get better at what I do on a more independent scale. So let's talk about it, shall we? We're gonna talk about the steps of mixing and mastering. The first things first, the most important thing I believe, is knowing what you're listening for. Now, this can be achieved by actually just listening to other people's music that you think that is appealing to you as far as mixing or even for your sheer enjoyment. Because if you're listening to a professionally mixed album, for whatever the case may be, it might sound a certain way to you and it might not, but obviously it does sound in a way where it sounds good because you're listening to it. So why not just rip it down to your PC, laptop, and actually view it and view it in your VU or whatever peak spectrums that you have, the oscilloscopes and whatnot, and see what they did, because obviously the knowledge is there, so you can actually just find out what they did in a lot of ways with all the stuff that you have, the stuff that you will have, and I will be talking more about that this week probably, especially for Free Download Friday. So the next thing, and it's very related to know what you're listening for, is use your ears. Your ears are your guide. They will not guide you wrong. I know that this is something that comes with time, just like making a dope beat or whatever type of style of music that you do, or creating or rapping and singing. It takes time, it takes experience. You gotta mess up, just trial and error. But once you learn, but the most important thing is you have to use your ears. You can't always trust the VUs and all that. I know this sounds like, hey, well, didn't you just say it? Yeah, your ears are your best tools. I mean, this is music, you're listening, so whatever puts you in a mood, a certain mood, you gotta find ways to achieve that. And there's plenty of videos on my channel where you can achieve certain things, especially we're talking about Trap Camp Entertainment and a lot of the artists and producers and stuff like that watch this channel, like trap music. So organizing your mix, that's another thing. And what I mean by organizing the mix is not having, your melody, having a melody in one insert channel, and then you have like vocals, and then you have, kick drum, and then you have more synthesizers, a synthesizer in the next mixer, and then you have like a clap or something like that. Have all your percussion in one area. This will help you so much if you have all your percussion in one area and all your melodic tones in another area on your mixer. You can see plenty of my mixing videos where I actually have all my percussion on one side, all my my voxes on one side, as far as like stabs and stuff like that. The famous stuff, and even an area where I have my tag. What I'm saying? Which usually is the last thing I do anyways, because it's just a beat tag. It could be non-existent in the final product anyways. But yeah, organizing your mix is very, very important to doing the next thing, and that is leveling your mix. And what I mean by leveling your mix is that you know that what I like to do. This is just what I like to do. You might not find it appealing. Somebody find it appealing, but I find it much easier than when I level the mix. When I have all my melodies at half volume of what the kicks and stuff are for, because it creates room. I actually talk about that in a video where I was talking about mixing a beat for OG Chris Beats. Because creating room. I talked about I gave the whole entire, if you're moving into an apartment, you have if it's empty, you can do backflips and all the acrobatic stuff. And then when you move your furniture in there and you just throw all your furniture around, you don't have less room, but then you have to organize it and move it around so you can be able to move and do something, or at least a cartwheel. You know what I'm saying? So because the more room you have, the better. Where you have room to work and do other things, as far as like just adding effects and stuff like that. The third thing, as far as like your mixing and stuff like that, you should worry about is your EQing. You know, knowing what you're gonna attenuate and what you're gonna boost, either in your lows, mids, or highs, because that's a very important thing as well. Because you know, just doing a simple EQ versus raising the volume, you know, it will bring out maybe a sweeter spot in a synthesizer or a sweeter spot in a real instrument, or even in your drums, to where it will stand out without you actually, you know, it being too loud or destroying the dynamic range like most tracks do in the modern day music, which I will be talking about loudness war in a second, as well, loudness war in another video later on, in hyper compression, which is a big issue in music, you know. And the reasons why it's a big issue, because some people might like stuff loud and just don't know what's the huge disadvantages of having your music real loud, or having certain things real loud, having snares real loud, having melodies real loud. We'll get to that. But anyways, compression is a very, very difficult thing, concept to grasp for most people. It really isn't. The more time you understand, like, the more basic things that you're gonna do. And I'm probably gonna focus on just like, you know, what a compressor is. I can tell you right now, if you look at it the way I look at it, a compressor, it to me, and what it really is essentially is a volume envelope, because you're either making something loud or to where it stays at a certain level, or you're making something lower so it stays at a certain level. And you know, there's different concepts about that will actually either help or hurt you if you don't know what you're doing in that instance. And last but not least is limiting. Limiting is just like compressor limiter. They're practically the same thing, but you know, the limiter is you're either limiting what you're doing as far as your volume and as far as keeping your dynamic range, or brick walling, or whatever else, you know, that it is towards limiting. It is an optional thing. And usually limiting is used at the end of a chain. So, you know, if we're gonna actually talk about the, you know, your master bus in a song, or a master bus within, you know, your mastering, you know, EQing is the first thing that you should be dealing with. Compression is the second thing that you should be dealing with, and then third, it would be your limiter. Any other way you do it after that, it could really lead to really bad results, and please believe it. So, you know, that was something. Oh, in terms of like, if we're going back up to leveling, and I apologize for messing up here, but you know, adding certain effects, you know, like a reverb or something like that, you know, while you're leveling, can actually affect certain things as well. Echoes can affect certain things as well. But you know, that I will put that either before or after EQing, you know, if we're going to talk about that, because I actually looking at the feed on my phone in my lap, and yeah, somebody just asked me about that. But anyways, if you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments, please leave a comment. You know, kind of self-elaborate what your experiences is with mixing and mastering, and your troubles or whatever. I'll try to get to them, as many as possible. I know a lot of people have been writing me, so you know, I'm here, I see it. I just got a lot to do. A lot of artists have been hitting me up, which is actually a great thing as well, because there's a lot of records that I need to finish and get them ready for projects that's gonna be out. A lot of projects, but yeah, I'm gonna work on it then. I got a demo coming out for this as well, and I'm gonna go ahead and show it, because I'm creeping up at 8:45. And yes, so that is available at djadamcree.net/store. So make sure you check that out. It's pretty good. We put a lot of work into that, a lot of money into that, and there's an update coming out for this very soon. Yes, and I wanted to have a super distinguished signature drum kit sound, because you know, certain drum kits that you definitely, when you go and get drum kits, you know, every drum kit shouldn't sound the same. Every drum kit should be unique in its own standpoint. So when you work with that drum kit, you're getting a specific sound. So let that be known. Anyways, I'm DJ McCree, and I bid y'all a nice day. Watch me press this button.